My name is Walter Vale. I still drive. It's all I have left. This is how I became a warning for someone else. In the fall of 2010, I was a ghost. Bad debts. Broken promises. I fled Ohio for the deep, wrinkled hills of West Virginia. Webster Springs offered a last chance, a driver for Croft Sons Haulage. Jed Croft was a man made of knotted rope and old scars. He didn't interview me. He inspected me. Like livestock. Spruce Mountain Ridge run, he grunted. Sun up to sundown. Load, unload, return. You are never empty on the return. Never. He slid a key across the greasy desk. The road provides. It leaves things. What it thinks you need, what it thinks you want. You do not take it. Not a lost glove. Not a dropped coin, his eyes like stones locked onto mine. Not a soul. For a month I obeyed. The ridge road was a wound in the earth. 14 miles of suffocating switchbacks, blind curves, and a silence so thick it pressed against your ears. The beauty was a lie. Autumn gold bled to gray, and the gray watched. The first offering was an apple. Perfect red gleaming on the shoulder. My empty stomach twisted. I drove past. The second was a child's bicycle. On its side. The wheels turned slowly in a wind I couldn't feel. The third was Jed's own rig. Parked at the peak overlook, hazards flashing. He stood beside it, waving me down, frantic. But Jed never drove the ridge. Not anymore. My foot slammed the accelerator. In the rear view, his figure melted into the fog. The blinking lights winked out one by one. The real warning came through the radio. It was always silent. Dead air. That night, a voice cut through the static. My voice. From some forgotten moment it whispered, I can't go back. I owe too much, then a child's choir. Singing a corrupted hymn, will the circle be unbroken, by and by, Lord, by and by. There's a better home awaiting in the valley where you'll die. The next night Croft called. A late run. His voice was strained wire. Remember the rules, Silas. The road provides. You refuse. The fog was a solid thing. A white blindness. At the peak hairpin, the offering oak loomed. A twisted thing, chains heavy with rust and memory. Tonight, something new swung from a low branch. A Polaroid. Nailed through its center. My headlights caught it. It was a picture of me. Asleep in my bunk. Taken last week. My blood froze. Something stood in the road just beyond the tree. Not a woman. Not a man. A shape all wrong angles, like a puppet with its strings cut. It cradled a bundle of rags. And from that bundle came a cry. Thin. Reedy. The sound of a newborn. The rule screamed in my skull, refuse. But the instinct, the human pull, is older than any rule. A baby. In the freezing dark, I am damned for what I did next. I stopped. I didn't get out. I rolled the passenger window down a single inch. Hey, the figure turned. It had no face, just a smooth bark-like blankness. It shuffled forward, extending the crying bundle toward the crack in the window. The wail grew desperate, pleading, refuse. With a sob choking me, I did the unthinkable. I followed the rule. I rolled the window up. I sealed the sound out. I stomped on the gas and tore away from that silent, faceless thing and its weeping burden. I thought I'd won. A savage, ugly triumph surged through me. I refused. The depot was pitch black. I flung the cargo, empty pine coffins I realized, into the bay and ran back to my truck. There on the driver's seat lay the bundle of rags. It was not a child. It was a ledger. Leather-bound, old, damp to the touch. It fell open. A new entry in fresh, dark ink stared back at me. Walter Vale. Debt, one mercy. Payment due in full. The radio hissed. My voice returned, hollow, final. The rule is the trap. Refusal as the signature. I drove like a madman. The fog took shape. Hands reached from the ditches. The road softened, hungry for my tires. Then, at the worst turn, a figure in a yellow raincoat stood in my lane. Hand raised. I didn't slow. I swerved. The world tore apart. Metal screaming, glass shattering. My truck crashed through the guardrail, lurched, and came to rest half over the abyss. Footsteps. An old woman appeared at the shattered window. Her face was carved from grief. "You left my grandson," she whispered, her voice like dry leaves scraping stone. "You left him to the cold. A mercy refused becomes a curse claimed. The mountain must balance its books. I followed the rules," I screamed. "You learned them from a debtor," she said, hollow eyes full of pity. "Croft has been paying his debt for 20 years. By finding new signatures. The warning is the contract. Now you owe. And a debt to the mountain is paid in service." From the woods Croft emerged. He looked hollow. He wouldn't meet my eyes. "It's easier if you don't fight, Silas," he mumbled. "You drive the route. You maintain the rules. You help find the next driver. The road must be fed. It's just balancing the books." They dragged me from the wreck. They didn't hurt me. They just explained my new duties. The maintenance of the offering oak. The selection of candidates, the desperate, the lonely, the ones already drowning in debts of their own. I learned to read the signs, to make the late-night call, to give the warning with just the right tone of ominous truth. My name is Walter Vale. I still drive the ridge. I am never empty on the return. Last night, I met a new hire at the bus station in Webster Springs. A young man, eyes shadowed with failure, running from something he wouldn't name. I handed him the key. "Spruce Mountain Ridge run," I heard myself say, my voice an echo of Jed's. "Sun up to sundown. Load, unload, return. Never empty on the return. Never." I paused, made sure his frightened eyes were locked on mine. I leaned in. The words left my lips not as a warning, but as a sacred damning text. "The road provides what it thinks you need," I whispered, the creed now written in my bones. "You refuse. You understand? You take nothing. Not a lost glove. Not a dropped coin." I let the final, necessary phrase hang in the air between us. A hook baited with pure dread. Not a soul. His confusion was perfect. His fear was ripe. I slid the key across the table. "Welcome to Croft Sons." This is the story of the Spruce Mountain Ledger. It is not a ghost story. It is a balance sheet. The most dangerous evil does not demand your death. It demands your compliance. It turns your survival into its sacrament, your mercy into its currency. So listen closely, family. If you ever seek escape and the job seems too perfect, if the warning feels like a sacred text, walk away. Some roads are not paved with asphalt but with signatures. And some debts are paid by becoming the collector. If you have a story that haunts you, send it to contact.thedreadcodex@gmail.com. Your truth becomes our tale. Your likes and comments keep these stories alive. Until next time, may your debts be few. May your mercy be accepted. Good night.